Alright, am I, like, I don't know. Is it like, am I in focus? Is the back too in focus? Is it not close enough to me? Whoa, that's really close. Wow. Welcome to Future Style again. Here is me introducing part 2 because there was no introduction. Okay, enjoy this one too. Bye. So now we're going to move on to the third category, which is the application process slash sort of high school, post-high school, and touching on a little bit on the IB. So the first question that I got is, did you take the IB curriculum before, and is it different from uni or just the same, both time management and the amount of stress? What are the challenges that you encountered when registering for uni? So did I take the IB curriculum before? Yes, I did. I would definitely say that the IB is definitely harder. Don't come for me if it isn't though, because I took courses that I really did not like in the IB. I took Econ HL, I took Physics SL, I took Math, which you have to. Studies though. I took Business. It was just like subjects I really wouldn't have taken if I had another option. In university, I get to learn about arts and culture, and that's something that I love, first of all, and we also get to touch on like socio-political issues, so that's like even more of what I like. So in a sense, yes, I would definitely say that the amount of workload is up to par. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more than the IB, but I guess what I like about it is that I enjoy what I learn, so it's not a heavy weight on me. But of course, again, you're more responsible for yourself and you need to manage your time more, so in that sense it's harder. And what are the challenges that you encountered when registering for uni? I think the Dutch system is quite, like, it's not horrendously difficult, it's just different, you know? You have to go to StudyLink, and then you have like, with Radboud you have Osiris, and you have a bunch of, or CDs, you have a bunch of different things, and you just need to make sure that you take all the steps. You know, you have all those tutorials online and directions, just make sure you follow them and you're quite meticulous about it because it can get kind of difficult. How was the process of getting into this uni? The process wasn't that hard. So when you apply to Dutch universities, you have to make a StudyLink account. I'll put the link down below as always. And basically you get 3 universities. I think you get 3 options and you can apply through there. You upload your CV, you upload your diploma, you upload everything, all of your information. You put it there and the university will check your documents that you upload there, and they will give you an answer through that website. How did you manage your time during your IB years with all the hectic workload? How did I manage my time? I cried a lot. I still get IB nightmares. Like seriously, I still get dreams where I haven't finished my EE or I haven't like submitted my IA and I'm like showing up to school and I'm like, I can't, and I'm like, I don't have my EE, I'm sorry, and one of my teachers is like yelling at me, or I have to like go home and explain to my mom that I haven't finished. I get so many nightmares. The IB has haunted me for life and is probably going to. First of all, I had things that took my mind off of it, and healthy habits. Okay, I know quite a few people that end up developing not so healthy habits. It could be eating, it could be drinking, it could be smoking, it could be, I don't know, like, you know, you find a lot of ways to cope with things that are difficult in your life, and I would highly recommend joining a club or a sport or trying something new. For me it was yoga. Yoga is the only time where my brain is completely shut off for like an hour and a half. I would recommend that. I definitely recommend reading all the stuff you need to read, like if you have, because I know that with the IB you probably have a few chapters that you don't really feel like reading and you feel like, oh, you'll just learn it later. Just finish that part because it will, you know, be easier. With IAs, like I feel like every teacher tells you this, don't do it overnight, but really don't do it overnight. I did my EE overnight, okay? Don't do what I did. I didn't really follow this advice, but if I could somehow implement it to my brain to just do things in pieces and fragments and so that it can all add up rather than just letting it all sort of pile up until the end or, you know, the last minute, please do that. And also talk to your teachers if you're, you know, if you're struggling, or talk to your parents and communicate. Like, communicating is always the most important part of any stage in your life. I think even once you're in university, you need to communicate with people that can help you. I took Econ HL, so that was difficult. especially as a person who had never learned econ before. So what I did was I would go on YouTube, and I'll link him below. He was AC/DC econ, and he helped me a bunch. Even with math, sometimes just YouTube everything. I learned a lot of stuff from YouTube. And also, learning together really helps. Sit together and talk about it, discuss it. If you can talk about it, that means you understand it. Study groups, especially with people who may be a little bit of higher level than you, like there's really no shame in asking for some help. Okay, so another question is, any tips for someone who is just starting IB? Talk to other people who have done IB. What I did when I was in the MYP, I was always talking to students who were older than me. You know, it's a lot of stuff that you need to juggle, and who better to ask than the people who have succeeded in going through it. It's doable. So many people get through it, so that means you can too. And I definitely think that asking and talking to people who have done it will give you more confidence. And yeah, I mean, I'm one of those people that have gone through it. I can't say that I did it with much grace, but I did go through it. I succeeded. So if you ever have any like specific questions or like past papers or past essays, that's what we did. I remember a lot of the students in my class asked upperclassmen or people who had already graduated because they have friends who are older. And they'll ask for their EEs, IAs, essays, reflective statements. And there's also a lot of IB forums and a lot of people who talk about IB on YouTube, so they could probably help. If you have any more questions, by the way, please put them in the down bar below so that I can, you know, make another video or something and help you guys out. So this next category, I have it titled as being a freshman. It has a bunch of different questions about like living and moving and what you need to pack and things like that. So yeah, here we go. The first question is, what are the possible challenges that may occur when dealing with the uni environment for the first time? And how do you deal with worrying for someone at home and being basically homesick for the first time? Ooh, honey. I never thought that I would get as homesick as I do, because I am quite introverted. If you know my family personally, then you know that they're quite loud. And I have 2 siblings, and I am quite close with them. Like, I would definitely say that they're my best friends. We have similar interests, and we always kind of hang out together because I hang out with my family a lot more than I hung out with friends. So being homesick sucks, and I would definitely say bring things from home that that remind you of them, and always, you know, I think I don't do this enough, but do tell them that you're thinking of them and that you're missing them, because they miss you just as much, if not more. The university it's a very fast-paced lifestyle, and a lot of times you get caught up in it, and I would not blame you, I do too. And sometimes I forget to call my mom, or I forget to call my dad, or I forget to call my sister or my brother. And you know, with my sister and my brother, I DM them a lot. My brother and I send memes to each other on Instagram, and my mom and I WhatsApp a lot. My dad and I would WhatsApp video call, and a lot of people I know Skype their family. So there are a bunch of different ways. Just keep in touch with them the way you would, I guess, with friends. And possible challenges that may occur when dealing with the uni environment for the first time, I think, is the panic, because like there's so much, right? You have your syllabus and you have all these deadlines, and you get them in the beginning of your course, and you need to write them all down, and you need to be aware, and you need to constantly check your schedules because certain schedules may change, and there's so much to think about all the time, and you need to be on top of it. And another challenge, I guess, that will come is being alone. You get to make your decisions by yourself for the first time. But I think that if you know yourself, then you'll be fine. Because for me, it's like I never really like to go out much in Indonesia, and I don't really go out much here. When I go out, I still only go out for dancing. And thankfully I have friends who like to dance. Yeah, and like you're doing all these crazy mundane things that you always just did with other people, and that can get a bit much. Like for me, grocery shopping is so scary. I don't know why. There's just so many options, and it's just so many different aisles, and like I can't, like it's so much. I can't like even think about it. So, you know, make lists and go up, like, it sounds cheesy, but like go on Pinterest and look at how people do things, and there are so many management tips and so many like lists, so you don't even have to think of your own like grocery lists or whatever. There are so many like packing lists, so you don't have to think about your own packing list. So, you know, there are a lot of people out there who have gone through what you're going through right now, and they are making it a lot easier for other people by giving you resources on the internet. So I would definitely say or recommend reaching out. So the next question is, so in terms of moving to an entirely different country for university, what should I pack on top of clothes, books, and stuff like that? What do you think is important to pack, and how much clothes should I pack? So this is kind of difficult because I have family here, and my family came here after I moved here, so they brought in more stuff for me. I definitely have a lot more stuff in my room than the average uni student. I brought a lot of clothes as well because if I didn't need them, I could store them in my family's house. How much clothes you need to bring? Just bring the bare minimum. You can also go shopping here if you want to. Make sure that you have like sports clothes and like some, you know, nicer sort of going out clothes. I can also make a separate video on this if you want, but I brought a lot of sweaters because it's the Netherlands. It's generally cold. A lot of people in the Netherlands wear jeans, and I do like to wear jeans. I also brought like a lot of like leggings and workout clothes. How much clothes you need? As little as possible, I guess. Whatever you feel comfortable with and whatever you feel like you could carry, because the wardrobes that you get aren't as big as you probably have at home, or it may be bigger than if it is, then great. I guess now you have more space. But yeah, it's just pretty much like what you need on a day-to-day basis, and other more sort of less like everyday stuff you can always thrift for cheap, or you can always go to like a much cheaper store to buy some clothes if you need to. And what's important to pack? What did I bring? I brought my ukulele and my guitar. I didn't bring stuff like hairdryer or irons. I know like in some cultures you have to iron your clothes, if not it'll look streaky. Like there are dryers here, so that's a bit different from Indonesia. But I bought like my grandma bought me like a stikaan and hairdryer. I bought a printer here. I did bring my amplifier for my guitar. My parents brought that iMac behind me. What else did I bring with me? Yeah, a few things that I did buy. Like I bought like a shelf, like an extra shelf to put my instruments in. I bought myself like a coat hanger because, you know, it's cold here, so you are probably gonna have more than one coat. And I brought my makeup. And yeah, that's like, the books are pretty much also another part of my prized possessions. Oh, bring pictures! Pictures are always really important, or like, you know, whatever memento or something that reminds you of home. I brought a lot of pictures and Polaroids from home, and this really helps because I can put them on my wall. I have like a bunch of drawings back there, and a lot of the stuff on that wall were things that I had on my wall back home, so sitting in my desk makes me feel like I'm back home. And my parents got me another We Can Do It Rosie the Riveter poster because I had that framed in my room, so that just kind of reminds me of my room back home. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just things that remind you of home if you ever get homesick, I guess. Okay, on this topic of home, the next question is, how often do you get homesick? It comes and goes, and it comes and goes in waves, as cheesy as that sounds. Sometimes it could be like, I'll be watching a movie because my family really liked to go out to the cinema, and that really makes me miss home. Sometimes I'll just be in my room, and I wish I had my sister or my brother to sort of talk to, especially when like things excite me and I wish I had someone to talk about it with. That like makes me kind of sad that I don't, but I have roommates and I have friends, and again, they're always a phone call away. So, you know, I think with me, if I do get homesick, then I'll play like a TV show that I used to watch with my family, or I'll play like an older movie, and then I'll call my family and I'll be okay. And also I do have family here, and my grandma visits here, so she's definitely a huge piece of home that I get to see every few months. So next category is studying art. So these are just a few questions that have to do with what I study specifically, which is arts and culture. And the first question is, what do you find most interesting in your classes? The fact that there's a huge range of things that I learned. For example, In my first semester I learned history of the arts, I learned film analysis, I learned music analysis, and I learned literature analysis. We learned European culture. So we learn a bunch of different things. Right now I'm learning cultural theory, which I already mentioned, and that's very philosophical. We're learning about like Nietzsche and Marx and Lacan and all these different theories, and you really learn a little bit of everything. You get fashion, you get film, you get music, you get theater, you get everything, and that's, I think, what is most interesting about my major. Okay, so next question is, what did you not expect from studying art or culture? I guess what I did not expect is the fact that you really you don't need prior knowledge, but there's also this sort of like unspoken standard of knowledge that people who like art or culture have, and that's usually quite universal, and even if you don't have it, you can always ask a question and then they'll answer it. I guess I am kind of shocked to find myself learning all these pretty in-depth stuff without having a basis of knowledge. Alright, so that's pretty much all I have time for. I know this was a really long video. I'm so sorry, but I hope this helps and I hope this answers everyone's questions. If it doesn't, again, I said this quite a few times in the video, but if you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to comment below and ask me any questions, because I am more than happy and more than available. I guess I'm not more than available. I'm available enough to make another video, so, you know, I'm happy to help. Thank you for watching this. I will see you in the next video, which will hopefully be edited soon. Yeah, I hope y'all have a great day, and bye, I guess. That's, bye.